we are going to do a face refinement on lid.
Well, that's actually very difficult for you as a patient to know how many milliliters you will need. And I think it's best to let that. I love working with face refinements because then you can balance the entire face and work on all the features in the face rather than individual areas. And by working with the entire face, you get a better balance of each facial structure, and it is very creative also, and patients get always more happy with the entire look of themselves, and they feel better.
So what you doing now?
So we're marking the spots or the areas that we are supposed to treat.
All right.
And we are gonna do a face refinement on Lynn. And what's bothering Lynn is her actually mid-face and jawline area. And she misses volume in the mid-face, which is the cheeks, anterior cheeks here, and the lateral part too, the cheekbones. And we have the jawline, which we're gonna enhance. Clench, video. Och sen släpp. Och en gång till. Let's get ready.
Får se på dig.
Okay, and I've prepared the syringes here.
All right.
It's gonna be something in between 10 and 15, but we don't know yet.
All right, let's see. How do you feel, Lynn?
Excited.
Excited? A little bit nervous?
Yes, very much.
I can tell you from experience.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
What?
You've done stuff, so.
Yeah.
So face refinement is made up of a unique combination of treatments that are selected by our caregivers here at ShapeBy, and they are specifically combined to enhance your individual facial structure. And this individually tailored series of treatments can address any concerns that you have, from building a sharp jawline to rejuvenating the entire face that is caused by aging. A treatment takes approximately, well, you're booked in on 1 hour, and that includes consultation and talking, taking photos and after photos. And we also go through your health declaration, but the treatment itself takes approximately 20 minutes to 30 minutes. The pain is very individual. It depends on what kind of tolerance you have towards pain. And actually it's not that painful at all. There is anesthesia in the syringes, so you can't feel anything at all almost. Well, it can differ. It depends on what kind of facial structure you have. And if you're young or if you're an older patient. The average that we use actually is approximately 12 milliliters, which fits every face. But it can vary from 6 milliliters to 22 milliliters. It all depends on the age of the facial structures that you have and what kind of area you want to treat and focus mostly on. Of course not. If you think about it like this, 12 milliliters that's approximately a tablespoon. And what we do is that we use also MD codes, which is designed by Dr. Mauricio de Mayo, a plastic surgeon from Brazil. And what we do with these milliliters is that we use different codes where we place tiny amounts of filler in order to either enhance the structure or lift the skin also, and even tighten some kind of muscles. And we also work with the dynamics of the face in that kind of way. So if you distribute these 12 milliliters in the entire face, it's actually not that much because it's less than a tablespoon. Well, that's actually very difficult for you as a patient to know how many milliliters you will need. And I think it's best to let that be to the caregiver, that the caregiver decides with you, together with you, what is best suited in your case. So the best thing is to let your caregiver decide with you and make a tailored plan, what is best in your case. And it's also up to the budget, what the patient has. Sometimes the range can expand too much with the filler amount, and you can divide it up into 1 or 2 or 3 sessions. So it's very individual. Well, how long a face refinement lasts, it's very individual. It varies from person to person depending on what kind of lifestyle you have. and the metabolism of your body. But I would say that it's good to do the big investment now of the treatment, which maybe requires 12 milliliters, and then yearly just maintain it with smaller amounts of filler. Let's say 3 to 4 milliliters a year. So you will continue to have the same result for many years ahead. Actually not. Let's put it this way, that with aging, your face changes automatically, always, with every year that goes. You lose fat volume, and the only thing that we do is to restore that volume. So we don't change any structure specifically and expand it. The thing that we do is just to restore it. So when it all fades off, or when the body breaks it down, the filler, it will just go back to what it was from start. It's like any other kind of procedure, basically. You will be a little bit swollen, not that much. It's more that it feels worse and feels more swollen than it actually is. It's because of the anesthesia in the syringes, and after an hour you will feel a bit more normal, but of course there is swelling. It's very individual. You can also bruise. Some people bruise and some people don't bruise at all. And the recovery time is actually 2 to 3 weeks, but many people decide to just go to work straight after. There are some things that you should avoid, such as working out and putting on makeup directly afterwards, but you can go back to your activities as usual. And that's the best thing with the face refinement with fillers, rather than surgery. Well, a facelift, a surgical facelift, is a lot more expensive. It can go beyond 150K. And the negative with the facelift versus the non-invasive facelift with filler is that it's irreversible compared to with fillers. And it also requires, it's a long downtime also, so a recovery time. Also with age, your face changes a lot of times, so you might need another facelift maybe in the future. It depends on how old you are when you're getting the facelift. On younger patients, you can't actually do a facelift in order to enhance some features. Then it's better to use fillers to enhance those features that you want to have. For example, building up the contour of the face. So nowadays, non-invasive treatments are much more popular than invasive ones. And that means surgical ones. And that is also because of the recovery time afterwards. With filler, there is almost no recovery time, whereas with surgery, you will always need bed rest and after a surgery for a couple of weeks or months. Well, if you have any more questions about face refinement, feel free to comment below or to send in an email to info@shapeby.com. Bye!